I'm excited to have you on and kind of talk a little bit about your background and really just kind of do a deep dive into your journey and how you got here. So you're here now. You're the host of the Future Forecast debrief every week. How's that working out for you so far?
Oh man. Well, first of all, I just want to say that I'm a big fan of yours and the work that you were
Thank you.
doing. So I feel like I have really, you left some really big shoes to fill.
Thank you.
Naturally, I'm kind of an introvert, so it's a little bit of work to get me to kind of be more engaging and all that. But it's a subject that I love, remote viewing and working with this crew. These are just great guys and gals to work
Yeah,
with. So
it's a lot of
that helps
fun.
bring it out too. But
Yeah, it's tough. It was tough at first, stepping out of that role and stepping into this role because this is, that's a project that I've been a part of for such a long time. And with the crew, we grew so close, that
yeah,
check in every week. And especially, you'll come to see as you go through the ups and downs of life and world events and turmoil. It's such a comfort having that crew to check in with each and every week. But Sean was telling us, you were telling us about your journey. You were on the table, acupuncture, had some
hmm
needles in you. You stood up and go from there.
yeah. I would make it. I would use the example of if you've ever been sitting at the bar and you had a couple drinks and you don't feel anything, but then you stand up and you're like, whoa,
Yeah.
it hit me. Now it wasn't like
Right.
an alcohol feeling, but that's the type of difference I felt. It was like, so, and at the same time, or around the same time, that's when I went to go see a local hypnotherapist. And again,
Hmm.
I was a little bit nervous. I'd never tried hypnosis before. But we just talked for maybe half an hour about all the stuff that was going on in my life. And then she did a short 15-minute induction where she had you visualize you're putting down your emotional baggage like it's physical baggage, and
Yeah.
has you, focus on every muscle group one at a time and kind of relax them. But I left there feeling, again, amazing. And I was like, cool, what was that?
Hmm.
So all these things were going on in my life that were kind of opening me up to new things, the power of the mind, something about this energy, that acupuncture was working with. And so I had these experiences, and it was shortly after that that I was able to get a new job. We moved to Ohio, and life got better. So I really latched on to remote viewing when I learned about remote viewing. I mean, this meetup met every 2 weeks, and they talked about dowsing,
Hmm.
shamanism, different, psychics would come in and talk about crystals and
Yeah.
palm reading and psychometry. But when I learned about remote viewing as an engineer, the
Hmm.
process, the methodical,
Yeah. Hmm.
scientific way that it's laid out, it's like, that is my language. That is my thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was all over that. But I still wanted to learn as much as I could about the other stuff and tried to have experiences where it was safe. Um, I tried past life hypnosis and stuff like
Hmm.
that, but I wasn't about to go trying shrooms or anything like that because again, I don't like taking any
Yeah.
substances. But
Right. Right.
yeah, so I mean, that's sort of the short version about how I got into remote
It's
viewing. It was all kind of kickstarted by a bunch of crazy events in my life.
That's what I was talking to Dick about, just with remote viewing, like every little hit. I don't care
Yeah,
how small it is. Everything it's still so fascinating. And I think in part that's because of at least how we're conditioned growing up. Like, this isn't real. This doesn't exist. This isn't possible. Like, your worldview, no matter how open-minded you are, no matter how open-minded we are now through our experiences, it is still absolutely one of the most incredible things in the world to me. Every time I could see it every single day, and I'm still like, oh my gosh, it's mind-blowing to see this stuff happen.
but that night I had a dream that I was in I do a lot of dream analysis work where
Yeah.
I analyze my dreams, and I think my dreams give me feedback on things too.
Mm-hmm.
But I had a dream that I was in like the old West, and I was in a like a saloon, but outside there was a bunch of cowboys, and they wanted us to go outside so they could rob us.
Yeah.
And I just I avoided it by not going outside, and I was like, I think my dream was telling me like I avoided getting robbed. But
Yeah.
I mean,
Absolutely. And
I
then
don't know,
that
but
that reminds me too. I mean, maybe it's one of those scenarios. I'm thinking movies like Cloud Atlas, if you've ever seen it,
yeah.
where like you're reliving past life experiences in each life, and similar scenarios are playing out, and you're learning these lessons and seeing the same souls in different bodies going through. Maybe that dream was a memory of something from prior.
Could have been. It could have been.
Yeah.
I'm very open-minded to that stuff, so it's hard to say. And I was getting CRV training from Teresa Frisch, who uses like Glenn Buchanan's methodology.
Right.
Me and a friend that were learning it together, we decided she had struggled with getting into that alpha state and having to write things down on the paper. She felt like it was getting her out of the state where she was getting good data. So I said, we could try doing an experiment where I do like a hypnosis session, and you just lay in the chair and we can record it, and that could be how you get the data. And she's like, oh yeah, let's try that. So I called it Hypno RV, but I didn't realize at the time it's basically ERV, right?
What kind of sessions, like when you're using hypnosis, and again, just I know you're using it on friends and family, what kind of things can you do with it, or have you done with it?
So hypnosis is good for like changing habits, because it's again, because like it's a natural state of mind. If you for those of you who have never done hypnosis, in fact, sometimes people will go to somebody and it doesn't really work, and then they leave thinking, well, I can't be hypnotized. Well, it's not true. Generally, so hypnosis puts you into a vulnerable state, and you know this. So if you don't trust the person you're with that's facilitating it, you won't allow yourself get into the required brainwave state, and you'll just not get anything out of it.
Right.
And you can walk away thinking, well, that didn't work for me, so I can't be hypnotized. Well, everybody can and does get hypnotized. It's just some people are more hypnotizable. We call that somnambulistic, but everybody gets into the required brainwave state. Everybody can have an internal experience. That's really all it takes. And so, so when you're in that state, so the brain can't tell the difference between imagined reality and experienced reality. They've done these cool experiments with athletes where they'll have them. So one group will physically rehearse an event. Another group will mentally rehearse an event. And the third group won't rehearse at all. And then they test them all. And the group that physically rehearses and the group that mentally rehearses, both do really well. You train that muscle memory either way. If you're involved in it enough in your mind, you're building neural pathways just as much as you would if you're actually doing it.
You're problem solving.
Yeah, exactly. And so
I did that, just to segue or to support that. Like, I did that a lot when I was a cop. I did a ton of mental role playing on different scenarios, and I found it really helped with my tactical mindset, my situational awareness. Because no matter where I went, I was always what if, and it really I mean, there's a lot of issues that came from that later when I left the police force, but in terms of being better at my job, yes, that was just constant training, and it was mostly in my mind of how I would handle things. It was a great way to train all the time.
Yeah, no, you were onto something. That's really awesome. Yeah, because really habits are neural pathways that are so well ingrained. It's like an automatic go-to.
All right, Sean. Well, it's been a great introductory conversation. I'm glad you and I got to connect, and I have you for another hour. So we're going to get in and talk a little bit of remote viewing. For those of you watching, it'll be the next episode that we release here for you as we do a deep dive with Sean and some remote viewing, and talk a little bit more about future forecasting. For those of you new to this platform, check us out at thefutureforecastinggroup.com, where you can see all the fascinating remote viewing projects that go from cryptocurrencies to world events to political events to the mysterious to the woo-woo, which is a whole lot of fun for us to explore. So